Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Clovis, special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you for being back here on the Juice Radio and Talk Shows channel. Listen, you guys, thank you for joining us today. We have a wonderful interview we're about to get started on. We have the wonderful Miss Arlene Morgan in the house and her beautiful book, I Thank You, Holy Spirit. And y'all know how I do on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. I always thank the Holy Spirit on everything that I do. And I was so happy to meet Miss Arlene Morgan at the tea event at My Father's House Pentecostal Church. This is her beautiful book, I Thank You, Holy Spirit. We're going to get into this. You can also purchase this book on Amazon. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to purchase this book and read it and maybe share it with others. Or you might want to purchase one for yourself and purchase another for someone else because it's that good. It is worth to be shared. Now, let me give you a little bit of intro on this. But before I do that, let's say hello to Miss Arlene Morgan. Miss Morgan, how are you doing? How you doing, Miss Morgan? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well. And I'm doing fine. And thank you for inviting me.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, I want to tell the viewers how you and I met. Again, I stated that we went to a tea party where I was a guest speaker and Miss Morgan was there and she got to introduce me. And it was all designed by the Holy Spirit, the way we met. I drove into the parking lot and there was a car and on the back, it had the words, I thank you, Holy Spirit. And I noticed it as I pulled into the parking lot. And I said, well, who's got my saying on the back of their car? I said, is this how they welcome me? This is nice. I said, they must know that I say that. So I went on into the venue and Pastor Grant, she said, well, sit anywhere you want. And so I'm a back person. I like to go in the back because I like to get a whole peripheral view of things when I'm at places. So I sat at the back table and Miss Morgan was there. And we just sat there together talking. And as we talked, she and I had a conversation And I don't even know how we mentioned that, you had, no, I think it was Pastor Grant says that you have a book or something like that. I can't recall how that part happened. Do you recall how that part happened, how we got on the topic of your book, Ms. Morgan? Are you there?
No, I don't know how it came about. Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I forgot how it happened, but it ended in a good company.
I know it was great. And now, viewers, there's a little bit of lag on the video, but we're going to go ahead and press through on this because it's such a beautiful story. Well, we started talking, and come to find out that she is the one who had the vehicle outside that said, "I thank you, Holy Spirit." And I said, "Oh my goodness, that's one of my favorite sayings." And then she told me about this beautiful book that she has, "I Thank You, Holy Spirit." We started speaking, and then Pastor Grant came back and she says, "Oh, Miss Morgan is the one who's going to be introducing you." And I said, "Look at the Holy Spirit working all the way around." you know, Great. Now, Miss Morgan, this book is, let me tell y'all, when you read this book, now I have read the book. I have read the book. And I'm going to tell you, I cried. I had to put it down a few times and grab myself and recomposure myself. But I went through and I pushed through because it's worth it. If I may, tell me a little bit, or you tell us a little bit about this book, Miss Morgan. And then, if I may, I would like to read a few of the excerpts if you would approve me to do that. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us a little bit about your book.
Thank you. Well, in this, I have five children, 17 grandchildren, 17 great grandchildren. I think about 3 or 4 great. It's so many I can't keep count. But it was just a pleasure writing the book. And what happened is that I was a member at the Art of Salvation in Atlanta, and Mother Bronner, so for years she encouraged me to write it, and I would tell her, "Okay, I'll do it." But then one day, after prayer on Wednesday prayer, and we were standing out on the sidewalk, about 5 of us women, and she was saying I need to write that book because I didn't know how many people it would help to not commit suicide.
Wow.
And that's what I done that, And I went back to the senior center. So I went back to the senior center and signed up for a writing class, and I wrote the book in 4 months. Yeah.
Ooh.
And it was so easy to do because all of the information, and the only thing I had to do was just get on the computer and start typing.
Wow.
And so I was led by the Holy Spirit. So once I started writing, I had, but then I realized that I couldn't have that title. So a friend told me, said, the only thing you have to do is just put "I" in front of it, and that'll change the whole thing. So that's the way that I Thank You, Holy Spirit, the book came out. Mm-hmm. And it was led by the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, this book is packed with so much information in it, you guys. If I may, I would like to read what you have on the back of the book. Would that be okay?
Okay.
All right. It says, this is a story about thank you. It said, this is a story about a young girl born into poverty. Her family was so poor until she didn't know it. She was abused and abandoned most of her young life. Later, she married at the age of 13, and her first child was born at 14. Before she was 23 years of age, she had been beaten, shot, molested in the name of love by her husband. Life was very hard with this kind of abuse with 4 small children. After her husband's accidental death, she began a new life and everything seemed to turn to gold. This book is to empower others that if she made it, so can you. Prayer, hope, and faith. Now, you guys, when Miss Morgan and I, and is it okay I call you Miss Morgan, or do you go by a title you prefer for me to reference you?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So,
That'll
Miss
be fine.
Morgan,
Whatever you're comfortable with.
thank you so much. When she and I were talking, the first thing when we were talking about her life story, just to think at the age of being married at 13, that alone is, to me, my mind couldn't be wrapped around that. That was something I couldn't grasp onto that part. And then as we continued and we talked about her life, and let me tell you guys, she puts everything in here. She puts everything. She did not leave anything out. Everything is in this book. Um, the being married at age of 13 and going through the abuse, and so much abuse. And when you talk about abuse in your book, you don't just talk about just the physical, the hitting part. You talk about weapons being used against you as well. I mean, being shot, being stabbed, so many things, and not even getting the medical help that you needed. And through all of that, you still trusted and believed in God and took care of those kids. I loved reading the book, and I think that a lot of other young girls need to hear this story to not give up. I think it really needs to be in every single place where there is life, that people want to save lives, no suicide, suicide prevention, stuff like that. This book needs to be there because it speaks of so much that Miss Morgan went through, and so many people want to take their life for so much less that they're going through. So it would be an encouragement to people. Miss Morgan, tell me more about what you want the viewers to know more about this book. Tell me your story that you would like to share with the viewers about this.
You. One of the reasons that Mother Bronner, she encouraged us when we are going through something, we feel that we're and we don't talk about it. We want to keep it to ourselves. But I discovered later on by holding all of these things inside, and then it caused a whole lot of disease called sickness. But things are different now than it was when I was going through my ordeal.
Wow.
Young ladies and girls, they don't have to go through what I went through with. I went through the abuse for my children. And I could have left, and I could have went anywhere. Someone probably would have took me in and helped me out. But people, they was not willing to do that, a person with 4 children. And so I just went ahead and I would run away and I would be safe, but my children was with him. And so I went back. And I didn't know if I would live or die, but I went back because of my children. But then after I went through this for 10 years. But see, it started before my man at 13 because I was dating him when I was 12 and he was 22. And we stayed married for, and he was even before we married. But then by the way that I was having to live, what he said, that he'll give me a home and I wouldn't have to go from place to place and he would have food. And, in my mind, I knew that he was lying because he was already. Anyway, I went ahead in my because see, a lot of people, they don't understand how you get married at 13.
All right.
Well,
Miss Morgan, your audio is going out.
For me to,
I am going to call Miss Morgan on her phone. Okay, Miss Morgan, I'm going to call you on your phone because the internet is going out on your side. So I'm going to complete this interview on your phone. So let me give you a phone call so we can complete the interview. Would that be okay?
Let me cut it
All
back
right,
on.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to call you right back.
Okay, let me cut it back on.
Okay. So you guys, we're going to give her a call because her internet is not coming through clear enough. So I do want you guys to hear her clearly. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a phone call so that we can complete this interview, because this is so important for young girls, to hear her story. I'm just amazed that she said that she was dating him when she was 12 and he was 22. I mean, how many of you that's watching it, does that seem like really? And listen, you guys, I would love to share so much of this book, but because of copyright, I have to get permission before I read certain things from, people's books. So we're going to wait for her, but I can tell you about our conversation that we had at the table. And like she said, she was 12 when she started dating a 22-year-old. When I tell you she has some stories and that she could talk to these young girls nowadays and everything she went through and having the 4 children and him still, going through the abuse with her, abusing her. I mean, it's just a lot. Hello, Miss Morgan. Thank you so much. Yes, we can hear you much clearer now. Great. Okay, so we were just you were saying that Bonner informed you to go ahead and write this book.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and go ahead and finish telling us that part.
About the completion of the book?
Yes, and then go into some more details about this beautiful book and what you want people to learn from it and gather from it.
Okay. What I would like for people to know, especially young women, all ages, and some men as well, that you just don't have to stay in an abusive situation. And I'm 77 years old. They didn't have the assistant to help like they do now when I was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
See, because when I married, I was 13, but it had started before then.
Wow.
When I was 12, and my husband, he was 22.
Uh-huh.
And we had 4 children, so lots of these things I went through because I felt like I had to, because I was a child.
Wow. Go ahead. I have to mute that one. Okay. So you guys, this audio is going on. I do apologize so much for this. I really want you all to hear this interview. I am going to probably have to meet with her and complete this interview because it's so important that it be heard. Are you there, Miss Morgan?
Yes.
Okay. What
Yes,
I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm going to let you talk and I'm just going to be quiet because that way I'll give you the time to speak and tell us, and then I will speak a little bit after you. And if it starts lagging, we'll just go ahead and we'll say we may have to do this interview again, and I may have to meet you with my equipment because you're right here locally in Georgia. But go ahead and go ahead and continue telling us what you were saying before our phone got cut off. Go ahead.
Okay. I think that I stopped where, because it goes back 13, and I really started dating him
Okay, your audio is not coming through. I'm sorry, Miss Morgan. It's not coming through. I'm so sorry, Miss Morgan. It is not coming through clear. It's not. I can complete the interview on the phone, but I cannot complete it online. I so apologize for that. Your internet is not coming through. Okay. So what we can do is I'm going to have to give you a call. Yes, to complete it because it's not coming through. So I can give you a call back on the phone.
What we have, just another. Okay.
All right, you guys, I do apologize. It's not coming through clear. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get her back on panel again and get her set back up. I'll just have to go and meet her with the equipment. I do apologize that this internet and this interview did not go through good. I really wanted you guys to hear what she has to say, and it makes me so sad because she's trying so hard. But we all know how some of these Wi-Fi's happen. But I will have her back on panel again. I should have gone there and met her. So I'm going to chuck this one on me because I told her I was going to meet her. So I'm going to put this one on me, you guys. It's not on her. It's on me. These things happen as you're building a brand. These things happen. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for taking the time out. Thank you so much for being here. Latoya, thank you so much for your chat. Thank you so much, Aaron. Yeah, my jaw dropped too when she said that. My jaw dropped too. Yeah, she was 12 and he was 22. And that's just the start of her life and what happened in this book. There is so much more that happened on here. I mean, 10 years at that age is a lot. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot now if somebody's 20 and the other person's 30, but she was 12, you guys, when she got married. And not only that, she went through so much. Like we said, on the back of the book, this guy that she was married to abused her so bad that, I'm surprised that she's still alive. And I'm surprised that she survived. And I'm surprised that she's still here to tell her story. But I'm really not surprised because her faith is what kept her through and got her through all that abuse. It was so much to be stabbed, to be shot, he shot her, you guys. Oh my goodness. I know YouTube probably gonna strike this one, but the truth be told. So we're going to have her back and we're going to share more information about this. I think every young girl needs to have this book. Not even young girl. There are grown women who are dealing with situations that are just like that happen in this book. The book is titled, I Thank You, Holy Spirit. The author is Arlene Morgan. She tells her whole story of what happened in this book. You can get the book on Amazon. You can get the book on Amazon. Unfortunately, her internet was not working properly. She did her best on that. So we are going to have another conversation with her again. Now, remember, you guys, we also have our church news coming up tonight. Now, you all want to be here for tonight's church news. And here's why. Tonight's church news, our topic is absentee parents. Should children forgive absentee parents? Now, this is going to be a whole different type of topic that we talk about on our church news night, because we're going to go real deep into this because there's a lot of absentee parents right in the church, but they're not with their children. I know for a fact this is going to be something that is going to be a hot topic. And so we're going to have that conversation tonight at 7:30. Y'all join us back here tonight at 7:30. We're going to get Miss Arlene's equipment back up and we're going to meet her again and reschedule her to have her back on the panel again. Thank y'all for being here. Let me get back into these chats. Thank you, Erin. She says, we thank Arlene for her time. Thank you so very much. Appreciate that so much. Says, thank you. Love hearing her. Yes, and I just wanted her to hear everything. Thank you so much. Fifi says, oh no, I missed it. Hey, everyone. Hey, Fifi. No problem. No problem. And Toya, where does Latoya, let me get her chats up here. I think we got all Latoya's. stuff in here. Thank you so much. Latoya kissed my nephew for me. Tell him I said hello. Hey, Diva girl, how you doing? Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a good topic. It is, Diva. It is. I hope you're enjoying yourself, Diva. I hope you're having a really good time out there. All right, you guys, we're going to be back with our church news coming up here shortly. Make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and y'all let people know. Come on in the room tonight at 7:30. We're talking about absentee parents in the church too, y'all, and how it affects the children, and should the children forgive their parents for not being there? What's your thoughts? We're going to talk about it tonight. Come on back here at 7:30. Thank y'all for being here. We'll be right back with our next episode, next show. See y'all in a few. Bye.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.